to see if this laptop would be worth it. We're also going to talk about the pros and cons, and we're going to talk about what makes this laptop good. And of course, I'll be covering gaming. I will personally help you pick the right configuration, and I'll be standing by to answer all questions. I took the time to wrap the device properly, always going slightly above and beyond, especially with the little things. The welcome packet includes one of my personal favorites, the gray Apple stickers. We also get an extremely minimalist warranty and introduction pamphlets. This is useful if you've never set up a laptop before. The instructions are to the point, very satisfying to peel off, and has a nice crunch. The charging cord wrapping is organized. The wrapping for the cord has a nice pull tabs and can be reused. The screen is protected by light paper film. Up next, the design and features. The laptop has a silky cold feel to it that I haven't seen replicated anywhere else. It's pleasant to the touch. The machine is 0.63 inches in thickness, 12 inches in width, and 2.8 pounds in weight. It has a complete metal body enclosure. This includes the back hinge, which is usually just plastic. It's got an elegant design and feels very sturdy. Its taper effect is noticeable. You can open up the machine with one hand, and since it's so light, you can also hold it up with one hand very easily. I really appreciate the muted branding. We have an Apple logo on the back of the display and a MacBook Air text logo inside the clamshell. It comes with 3 colors, white, black, and pink salmon. These are all 3 different laptops that Apple offers. All ports since 2016 have been replaced with Thunderbolt USB-C. We also get to keep our headphone jack. We have seen phones and other devices remove this, however, audio and sound engineers still need the auxiliary headphone jack for professional work-related reasons. Creatives will keep pressure on Apple to keep this alive as well. Final note, I'm standing by to help you guys decide which machine to get. The Retina display isn't usually reflective unless you look at it from the sides. But this isn't normally a problem unless you are outside. The speakers are impressive. Each new laptop generation, Apple has set the standard for speaker quality. Apple has always prioritized highest quality components instead of cost reduction. This means that if you get a Mac, you will pay a price premium. There is a good chance that your Mac will be a lot more expensive than all the other machines out there. They are the most expensive, but you do get the best quality, and this is one of the best screens money can buy. The Retina display colors are among the most accurate. It's also higher resolution, which means the pixel per square inch are so high that it becomes difficult to see the pixels. Together, the laptop gets about 52 dBA while playing an intense game. It does get loud. Maybe not as loud as a gaming machine, but it does, and it also gets hot. I last a couple days without charging on this device. If you're working continuously on it, you can expect 12 to 13 hours of web browsing. Very impressive stuff. Most machines on battery will only give you a couple hours of life. Thanks to that 15-watt processor, you have all-day battery life. Unfortunately, nothing here is going to be upgradable. Everything is soldered in onto the board. This is really just to save space. How else are you going to tightly pack everything into a razor-thin laptop? If you have the funds, absolutely get the 16GB RAM upgrade. First, once you have that, and if you need additional storage down the road, you can always get an external drive. If you have additional funds, consider upgrading the storage 1 or 2 tiers above the base model. This will give you a huge advantage when it's time to resell the Mac or when you need more space. Remember, the MacBook is not upgradable. As we begin to go outside, the FPS does seem to drop a bit into the 25 range and sometimes even under 20 and 19 FPS. What this means is that the machine does struggle to run certain games that are demanding, but not all games. What's funny is that the older MacBook Airs did a better job at running GTA 5, yet this MacBook Air has a quad-core CPU. The issue is that they've added 2 additional cores, but have made the laptop thinner and with inadequate cooling. The redesigned keyboard feels more like the classic MacBooks from 2012 and 2015. It's as if they merged the butterfly switches from the 2016 redesign with the old design to produce a more modern keyboard. Again, this is an area that MacBooks set the standard for. This new design is very similar to what the Surface product lineup uses. They feel and operate the same way. What makes the Apple and Microsoft keyboards so good is how uniform and sturdy the button feels, while also giving you 1mm of travel. This is considered an achievement by Ultrabook class standards. An Ultrabook is just a sleek, thin laptop. It's hard to cram quality tech into a thin laptop, but this brand has managed to do it. These are machines we can all be proud of. Occasionally, Apple will design something that is a step backwards in progress. Sometimes the fans don't know what they want. Other times, Apple tries to implement things for the sake of marketing. However, this next item is just surprising to me to see. The notch is worse than previous versions. It's hard to open the machine up now. The MacBook Pro doesn't suffer from this because it has a deeper, better notch. The hinge is also slightly too stiff, which causes delays in opening the machine up and will make it move. Steve Jobs isn't here to check up on Apple any longer, and we're starting to see the quality slip a bit. Especially now that Johnny Ive has left the company, we can clearly see poor design choices, but these are small gripes. The machine's overall pretty impressive still. The all-metal hinge is one of my favorite items. It's very fluid and flush with the system. So I use an iFixit kit to take apart this machine. It's nice because it has all the screws you might need, including ones that you don't normally find, like the pentalobe that I have to deal with on this MacBook. The MacBook design is extremely elegant. It's very compact, and the motherboard takes about 1/8 the size of the whole computer. Very impressive stuff. Reminds me of the 12-inch MacBook quite a bit. Everything is so neatly organized, tightly packed. Very elegant to look at. Honestly, will not find anything like this anywhere else. This one little tiny fan cools the whole system. It basically pushes the air out of the system, and then it's passively pushed into the system in the reverse vent at the top right, and then that cold air passes through the heatsink. Very surprising to see no heat pipe going directly from the CPU to the fan. The other thing I really like is this trackpad. This thing is really smooth and nice to use on the machine. There's really nothing like it. When you even mention the idea related to a trackpad, everyone remembers these teeny tiny dinky trackpads with horrible drivers. The history that trackpads have is pretty poor, and most brands put mediocre trackpads in their machines. Apple has always had great trackpads. You need two things to have a good trackpad. You need great hardware and you need great drivers. This means that good software to utilize the hardware is needed if you want a good trackpad. When both of these things happen, you get a great trackpad. Both Apple and Microsoft are doing a great job. Apple's trackpads are a little bit better since they are larger and they feel a bit more smoother. However, I can't think of any other competitors that even come close. Microsoft's precision drivers are almost there, and you can achieve great smoothness if you're willing to browse with Edge browser. However, Apple has good scrolling throughout the OS. Gaming on a controller seriously helps reduce the input lag you feel when you game. Even though GTA 5 sometimes runs at 19 FPS, it feels more like 30 FPS. GTA 5 is the only game I have noticed that reports lower FPS but feels substantially smoother, especially with a controller. If you can get yourself a controller, it makes a huge difference. It's actually enjoyable to play. I'm willing to test 30 games out for you guys. Which games would you guys want me to do a gaming test on? Subscribe and leave a comment down below with your choice of game that you want me to test. I've made over 100 videos in regards to gaming on MacBooks with gaming test videos. You should also get a hub and an external drive like a Samsung T5 for additional storage, since storage is very expensive and non-upgradable. The hub is needed for things like a mouse or other peripherals that may have trouble interfacing with the Thunderbolt port. If you guys have other questions, I'm always standing by to talk to you. You can always reach me on Steam and we can play some games together. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys want to see more videos. I am looking to get more subscribers. And yeah, if you have any questions about these machines, let me know. I do still have them so I can do testing for you guys. And since I have used quite a lot of machines, definitely want to share that knowledge with you guys. All right, see you in the next video. Cheers.